Worried your relationship might not last? Wondering how to know for sure? In this video, I cover the 6 signs that your relationship is only temporary. Hi, I'm Lucy Goldman from LoveLearnings. As a commitment expert, part of my job is to identify what's working in a relationship and what isn't. I've come to find that there are several factors that result in a relationship that is going to last and others that can cause a relationship to meet its ultimate end. Before we get into it, I need to just say that it's okay if a relationship doesn't last forever. Not all relationships are supposed to be for life. Sometimes a short-term fling is just what you need to get over a breakup, discover something about yourself, or figure out what you want in a relationship. All I'm saying is don't get down on yourself if you don't hear wedding bells every time. It's helpful to understand what you're looking for going into a relationship so that you don't have unrealistic expectations and end up with a broken heart. As I'll cover later in this video, acting like a relationship is more serious than it is out of insecurity is one of the major predictors of a breakup. So just enjoy yourself and don't worry about what's coming next. So without further ado, here are the surefire signs that your relationship isn't going to last. Some of these indicators apply to you, to your partner, or to both of you. 1. You don't make plans for the future. This one is obvious, but often overlooked. The two of you have a great time together, but you never seem to make plans beyond next week. This could be because you're avoiding looking too hard at what's coming next. This is understandable early on in a relationship, but if you two are committed and thriving, then making plans months from now isn't going to hurt. In fact, planning a trip, a concert, or an outing for the future can actually bring the two of you together in ways that you couldn't even imagine. This could be one of those situations where you both think that the other isn't interested, even though you are. So don't let your insecurity rob you of the fun you could be having. Just make sure those tickets are refundable. 2. You don't want the same things. This is one of the most common reasons that a relationship will end, and it's a tough one to get past. Think back to your first couple dates. Chances are the two of you talked about what you were looking for in a relationship. Those conversations are actually often when we're at our most honest. Now that you've been together for a while, you or your partner could be avoiding that topic of conversation so as to not create friction in your budding romance. So it's important to check in at regular intervals to see how the relationship is going and how it's progressing. You don't need to have a big board meeting over it, just a simple discussion that pushes past the awkwardness and gets to the real feelings that you two have for one another. 3. It's a rebound. If one or both of you just got out of a serious relationship before you met, then there's a very good chance this is a rebound relationship. Other signs of a rebound include moving too fast, spending a ton of time together, and the hot and cold treatment from the other person. This is a very common pattern for those of us who are recovering from heartbreak. We want someone new to put our time and energy into so that we can get over our ex quickly. The problem is that we often compare this new person to our ex and find them wanting. On top of this, if we were the ones who ended the last relationship because we missed the freedom of being single, chances are our feelings wouldn't have changed that much a few weeks before meeting this new lover. So take a look at you and your partner's last relationship before getting too attached to this one. 4. You won't put a label on it. Not to say that labels are the most important thing in a relationship. In fact, I think we so often get wrapped up in labels that we start focusing on where the relationship is going rather than living in the moment. But if you two have been together more than 6 months and one or both of you is squeamish about using the L word, calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend, or being officially exclusive, this means your relationship has a ticking clock. Wondering if the guy you like feels the same about you? Don't you wish you could just see inside his mind and figure out his true feelings? Well, now you can. Go to lovelearnings.com/doesheliKeme right now and take a simple 5-minute quiz to find out if he likes you. The quiz gives you customized results and offers you peace of mind that your man likes you so that you'll know if you should continue. That's lovelearnings.com/doesheliKeme. 5. You sweep problems under the rug. This is a common tactic for couples who have major disagreements but want to maintain peace. The answer here is not to turn every issue into a huge fight, but to learn to agree to disagree without having to invalidate your own opinions and feelings. The truth is, short-term relationships are often this way because you and your partner are just fundamentally different. Just because you'd never be able to live together in a studio apartment without going crazy doesn't mean you can't learn a lot from them, and vice versa. The key is to trust your gut and know how to pick your battles. Maybe their choice of music isn't the same as yours, and that's okay. But if you two fundamentally disagree on something more important, like gender roles in a relationship, then that is going to be an issue. 6. You're overly affectionate or lovey-dovey. Affection is hugely important in any relationship, but when it becomes too sugary sweet, you may be using it to cover up other issues. Many men and women face a lot of anxiety about the future of their relationship. They're unsure what they want, what their partner wants, and whether or not the relationship is on the right path. They often feel powerful love for their partner one day, and the next day, they feel like breaking up. In order to overcome these feelings, they'll turn on the charm and overwhelm the relationship with love and affection. Whether it's done to cover up their own negative feelings or to try to drown out their anxiety about the relationship, this tactic is like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. You may be able to get more comfortable temporarily, but when all is said and done, the ship is still going down. Instead, be honest about your feelings, even if they aren't always positive. When we're disingenuous about our feelings about the relationship, we confuse ourselves and our partner and cause a great deal of miscommunication. For example, imagine your partner cooks you a dinner you genuinely dislike. When they notice your lack of enthusiasm, you can see that their feelings are hurt. So you insist that you love the meal and wish you could have it for every meal. They're convinced, and so they start making you this awful meal week after week. Now you're afraid to tell the truth because it's just gone too far. Isn't it worth a few minutes of discomfort to avoid this negative cycle? At the end of the day, you may be noticing an underlying pattern in some of these signs, and in reality, it's the real culprit that is causing your relationship's short shelf life. And that common factor is problems with communication. Whether it's an inability to connect and really discuss your problems, the fact that you're unable to be open about your feelings, wants, and needs, or your reticence to bring up the future for fear that you may break the spell, these all stem from a problem with communication in the relationship. This is something that can be difficult or even impossible to overcome. In some ways, it's actually built into the fabric of short-term relationships. When you know that your connection is missing something, it's okay to keep these thoughts and feelings to yourself. Just be aware that if you do this, chances are this means that your relationship has a time limit. So enjoy your time together now and just live in the moment instead of obsessing about the future. It's when miscommunication and unmet needs come to the forefront that making the effort to communicate with the other person can make the difference and transform your relationship. So if you're keeping a secret or there's a question you're too afraid to ask, you need to push through your discomfort and reach out to your partner. You'll really be glad you did. Thanks for watching. I'm Lucy Goldman. Please like and subscribe.